What's going on, YouTube? Got another knife review for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Les Voorhies Simplex. This is a collaboration design knife from Faisal Yamin. Faisal Yamin has been on the knife scene for quite some time now. I feel like him and Liang Ma, as well as Tashi Barucha, are three of the most highly sought after collaborators, on knives. And they've done collaborations with, the biggest and baddest of custom knife makers out there. And so, I think Faisal, his designs are probably, in my opinion, the most unique. I feel like they're a acquired taste, if you will. Chashi's got a particular, I don't know how to explain it. Very broad blade, very low seating blade. Typically, a lot of the blade sits outside of the handle, but also very ergonomic and curvy handles. With a lot of choils for the finger to sit, or especially for the index finger to sit in. And almost somewhat of a hilt in the front to guard your hand. And then Liang Ma's is very aesthetically, pleasing. A lot of lines that match up on the blade and scales and whatnot. But Faisal's, his three designs with Les Voorhies, the Simplex, he's got the Supernova as well, which I have right here, which I'll be doing a review on in a little bit. As well as the Long Claw. I mean, they're all really unique. I mean, you see the way that this blade sits within the handle. It's really, again, I feel like it's a acquired taste. When I first saw this knife, I was like, what was this guy thinking? It kind of looks like a blimp or some kind of like spaceship. And outside, it's like this weird looking like toucan nose. With this weird divot here, but after I played around with it and used it, and man, this thing, I love this knife. Absolutely love this knife. Anyway, going back to the Simplex, this is a knife that when did I get this? Got this a couple months ago, and yeah, the guy that I was getting it from, offered it at a pretty good price, and I couldn't resist. And there's a number of reasons. One, just the look of the Simplex I thought was incredible. Two, I love Les Voorhies' work. And then three, it's got zirconium on it, which I've never owned before. And so I wanted to try it out and see. And man, I'm so glad that I did. This knife is a 3¼ inch blade of CTS XHP steel. So very good steel. It's one of my favorite steels. And then it's got blue titanium liners that serve as the lock side or lock bar. And then on top of that is zirconium scales, and then blue titanium onlays with a milled blue titanium clip. And then the back spacer is also zirconium with this lanyard loop right there. You got Steve Kelly titanium hardware on here, which is always a plus in terms of aesthetics. And then it runs on ball bearings and is a flipper. Just an absolutely, in my opinion, perfect package for a gentleman's carry. It's not a thick knife. It's not it could serve tactically, but it's not meant to be a tactical knife. It's just a gentleman's carry knife, in my opinion. Super smooth, very thin, hollow grind blade, on here. Not quite as thin of an edge as my Model 10 here that I recently reviewed, but thin nonetheless, sharp as heck nonetheless. So really quick size comparisons between these knives. Obviously the Shirogorov is much bigger knife, more on par with the Model 10 here. The Alpha from Tom Crine is going to be something that's a little bit closer to it, a little bit smaller, but ornamentally, I feel like is pretty similar. And then here you have a size comparison with the large Sebenza 21. I'll kind of just throw out the Supernova here just for a little bit of eye candy. Yeah, I mean, overall, the ergonomics, the feel, the aesthetics, presentation of the Simplex is amazing, you know, quite honestly, for me. One thing to note about Les that I've noticed recently is I feel like a lot of his knives have pretty sharp edges. So, you know, when you look at something like the Shirogorov or Sebenza, you know, all these edges are chamfered, which is nice. It just makes it comfortable. Your fingers, if they get caught in here or, you know, are dragging along here, it's just smooth and it feels totally fine. And Les's work, it's clean. The fit and finish is impeccable, but these edges are really sharp. The edges inside the liner as well, even though it's there's a slight cutaway. You know, it's chamfered on the outside here, but when you get on the inside, you know, it kind of digs into your finger. Not overly uncomfortable because the knife is so smooth, and there's no stick to speak of. But, you know, just the tension on the liner lock makes it a little bit uncomfortable to disengage. The same could be said for this Model 10 that I didn't, you know, note that on my review. But after flipping it over and over and playing with it, which we all do, you know, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. It kind of just pushes your skin over. You can kind of see on my thumb, you know, that skin, if it focuses, you know, it just gets pushed over, you know, every time you actuate the lock. It's first world problems, it's knife snob problems, but it's there, and that's why we're all watching these videos, right? To kind of get a feel of what these knives are like. The Supernova is also the same. It's got sharp edges and stuff like that. It's not a huge deal. It just makes it slightly less comfortable. You know, I just feel like with the quality of Les's, you know, craftsmanship and all those things, if he were to chamfer those edges, it would just make the knife that much better. You know, I already love his knives. I would still get more of his knives if I get the chance, regardless of, you know, the chamfering and whatnot. But, you know, knives at this quality, I just feel like the more comfortable you get, or you make them, you know, it just speaks to the quality of the maker, of the manufacturer, and all those things. And this is no slight against Les Voorhies because I just love his work. But that's just something I've noticed. My Abrams, I remember, was the same way from Voorhies. So anyway, that's just a quick take on the Simplex. Just overall materials, the dark zirconium with the bright blue finish is just incredible. And so Simplex, out of the three designs of the Supernova and the Long Claw from Les Voorhies, I think is my favorite design aesthetically. In terms of actual user, I actually really like the Supernova. It's incredibly ergonomic, and I'll talk about that in my review of the Supernova. So anyway, that's my take on the Simplex. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like if you feel like it. Helps my channel out if I can do that. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. Bye.